Hi guys, it's Fana, and thanks so much for watching. So, this is the very first episode of my boyfriend Bobby and I's podcast, the Gremlins Layer. You will be able to find it all on its own social media, which will be linked down below, but this episode 0 is going to be both on my channel and the Gremlins Layer own official channel. I just want to throw this little intro out there to say thank you guys so much for watching this and listening to it if you prefer that. We're going to try to make these both visual and auditory podcasts, and we're very excited for this project. I know that a lot of you on Instagram are familiar with Bobby and you like him okay. I like him okay. We've been dating for about 3 years and we thought that you enjoy a little bit of our banter as we talk about two very unqualified creatives talking about different fields of art, among other things. But I'll get into the video, or you'll get into the video, and I just want to say, welcome to the lair. Enjoy! Hi guys, welcome to our lair, the lair.
The lair.
The lair.
This is the lair.
Welcome to the lair.
Welcome. It's a scary place. I don't know. I can't make this sound any more dramatic. So
I envision it with like glowy crystals everywhere.
yeah, there's they're hanging from the ceiling. They're coming from the stalagmite type thing.
Yeah, but they're like giant
glowing,
crystals, just
glowing like neon green.
Yes.
Like, oh yes, that's definitely what you're walking into. Honestly, I mean, it beats like going under a bridge or any of that. That would look really cool.
That's a troll. That's a troll.
Yeah,
not a gremlin.
Get
your mythology. Get your folklore straight.
It's been a while. I'm not caught up on modern mythology, so I guess I should have done that before we got here, huh?
Should we do some semblance of an introduction?
We should, but
all right. Since this is gonna go up on my channel, at least this first intro episode, you know me. Hi, I'm Fana, or fanastyfinder on the internet, and this is.
My name is Bobby. I'm a filmmaker by trade. I have created a lot of different films and held a lot of different positions in my time. I'm mainly an editor. So I sit here at my computer 14 hours a day and create things for other people and get mad at the directors of photography that may have not giving me the greatest things on earth, and then I get mad at directors, and then I just get mad a lot, and Fanny here knows that quite a bit. But yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I don't have any type of cult following, although I kind of wish I did. That sounds like fun. But I do have a website, robertmorrison.net, where I have all my works, short films, documentaries. There's a documentary about this one right here.
Yeah, I star in all the films because I'm the only one willing to.
Well, let's see. Let's see. You were the subject of a documentary, which is one of my best works called The Doll Maker. That's available online. That's on your channel, I think, too.
It is.
Yeah, that one's on your channel. She did a music video, which is also on her channel, where she was playing the harp. I know the song was called Our Same Word. Is it Yamira? How do you say that artist's name? Who made that song? It was something with a Y, and it was something.
Oh God, I'm trying to remember.
Anywho.
But yeah, I've been a ghost. I've been voiceovers. I've been everything. But you're plugging a lot of stuff, and
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I got.
No, you are good. Good.
No, I got excited because I seriously, I've been streaming on YouTube lately, on my channel, and I have like a starting soon slash be right back screen that plays some of my old work because it's editing live streams I'm doing, and I keep making fun of Fanny here because she's literally in every single one of them except the last one, which was a short film that I did.
Yeah.
But she's done a lot, and there's also another project in the works that I can't talk about yet that I think she might have a small role in. So, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I do stuff. I just sit at this computer and just edit stuff. I taught Fana here sort of how to edit, sort of.
Yes, but Editor Fana grew her own personality, and oh my gosh. But I guess I'm a children's librarian, and I am a hobbyist artist. obviously my channel is mostly making dolls currently, but I sew and crochet and watercolors and markers and digital art and jack of all trades.
She has trends that she'll go through and themes. Like all of a sudden she'll do doll making so seriously for like a month, and then she'll go into like digital illustration, or then she'll do, I'm gonna crochet something and be weird and just do all this stuff.
Well, I'm one of those that like I see something and then I'm like, I want to learn how to do that, and then I watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and then I learn how to do that, and then I do it for a while.
You did the ukulele for 2 days.
It was a couple weeks.
That was not a couple weeks.
It's coming back.
No, it's not. Don't kid yourself.
But if it's not obvious, we're dating. We're a couple.
I mean, I think we're still figuring this out, but.
It's been 2.5 years,
been 2.5 years.
We're still figuring it out. We're still deciding if I like him or not.
This is this show right here though is pretty big for us though, because this is the first like true creative project that we both decided to collaborate on. Instead of like, I've done work for her channel. I did her rebrand and have starred in at least one video. And have made appearances on Instagram here and there. And then she's been in a lot of the films I've created, but we've never actually gone forth and created a project that's
purely us.
Yeah, that were like the organic creation of both of us and both of our talents, and something we both wanted to do, not just servicing for the other, basically. So I think this is monumental, and I'm pretty excited, honestly. I mean, I've been podcasting for a couple years in various different shows. None of them to any great success, unfortunately, but
that's because I wasn't part of it.
That's true, too. I mean, I never had such a stellar co-host in my life.
Yes.
I always had to carry the show on my back.
Beautiful and fabulous.
My girlfriend really is a
brilliant and...
Oh, you literally called yourself the jack of all trades, and that's true. And then the thing is, like,
jack of all trades, master of none. The master of none is the important part.
But I think you get to mastery in these things quicker than most people, which is what's really annoying about you.
See, thank you. I'll accept the compliment.
It's not true. It's the truth,
but no, because what happens is I will get good enough to be dangerous.
Sure.
In anything, and I will flat out say that. I'll be like, I know enough to get myself into trouble and maybe troubleshoot a little bit.
Sure.
And then just.
And meanwhile, I'm still teaching her how to use a computer. So
it's not true. It's not true.
Wow,
we spent an hour just to get to this crappy setup. Can you see the quality difference between our setups?
Filmmaker and streamer, so of course I have this setup.
I'm a streamer.
My God, really? You hide behind a screen. All of your things are screen recordings and cameras facing a desk.
Okay, my most recent video has a vlog shot of me in front of a bookshelf. Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow. One shot. And how long does that shot last? 3 seconds?
No, okay. I even put on a sweatshirt to personify editor Fana.
God, you're the worst. You really are the worst. Oh, God.
But what is this show? What is this podcast? What's its purpose? Why are we here besides trying to do something that was purely a creative endeavor?
Because we have nothing to do during quarantine.
That's not true. That's really not true.
And we don't live in the same house, which is why you're seeing the setup that you're seeing, by the way, in case I needed to make that clear. We're not in 2 separate rooms in the same building or any of that. We're not being weird about it. We're separated.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think they're a smart bunch.
No, but I listen, I got to make it clear because some people don't just, I know this audience isn't stupid, but you never know if that one person's going to have certain words. I'm catching myself a lot because I have a potty mouth and I have to turn that off for this show.
Yeah, we're going to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, in case that matters for anybody, but I'm going to slip, and at some point, I'm sure, like I'm catching myself now, but I'm sure in any type of heated debate or discussion that we have, I might let it slip a little. Not in any derogatory thing towards her, just I curse a lot. Again, I'm an editor.
So do I, but I don't know. That totally went off the rails of what is this show. I feel like I'm catching myself too. Like, I feel like the show we'll have topics, and I would love to have a lot of audience participation or interaction where like you guys tell us what you want us to talk about. I think we're both artists in our own right, or I guess creatives is a better word for it, because we are both very creative, but we both do very, very different things. And I think it'd be very cool to talk a lot about that. We like movies, we like road trips, we like a lot of
coffee
stuff,
shops,
and it's just there's a lot for us to talk about. So I don't want to put something like a label of this is a blank podcast.
It's literally like so think of like if you've ever seen the show or heard of the show, comedians in cars getting coffee, where it's literally just Jerry Seinfeld with somebody talking in a car. And I know Deadmau5 did a couple of those on his YouTube channel as well. But anywho, no, we're literally just, this is going to get pretty freeform. And like, yeah, we'll probably have, both of us will kind of bring some topics, but I don't think it's going to be like both of us are going to come together like, oh, we're going to talk about this, this, and this and be so formal about it. Like, we're both in such different spaces, but even throughout a relationship, like even though we've had pretty vast different interests, like even our tastes in music aren't quite aligned, except for lo-fi. Lo-fi, I think we're both massive fans of. Shout out to Harris Heller on Stream Beats. But we've always been able to still talk about what we do and what we want to create and what we want, what our goals are creatively. And we seem to still kind of understand each other, even though we're completely different things. She's using more of her hands and actually creating all these great organic physical things. Everything I do is digital. And there's some crossover, like she has to edit her videos.
Both too,
there is. Oh yeah, I mean, so we're gonna kind of, it's almost gonna be educational in its own right too, because I'm sure we're gonna talk about different processes that we go through on a daily basis and different things that are happening in the industry. My industry is very volatile, so you'll hear a lot from me just ranting about the industry that I'm in, because it gets fun sometimes. And I know Fana here always has her little specs too that she's got to figure out. So yeah, it's too creative just talking. We're literally just talking, and we hope that anybody who watches either can relate or gets something out of it, whatever that is, whether if it's just a after work chill or something educational, inspiring, even if we even want to up ourselves that high. And then yeah, if you guys suggest any topics or something you want us to really harp on, we'll do our best to kind of put it in whatever show comes next, but we'll really talk about anything.
Yeah. I think the feel that I really want this show to have is when we have really long car rides, I'll pull up like a list of random questions off of like Pinterest or like random sites like that, where like the weird, thought-provoking, just dumb questions. And so I want it to be more of a feel of our car ride. Like a long car ride of us just talking.
And it's not like your typical 20 questions like, what's your favorite color? Or where's one place you want to visit before you die? She's able to find some really decent ones that have a little more oomph to them, basically. So it leads to, we know mostly everything about each other at this point. Like, we kind of know each other at the back of our own hands, but there's always an interesting answer that we're able to sprinkle in some of those questions or in some of those car rides. So we do a lot of long traveling. So not recently, but we do a lot of long traveling, and it usually leads to those type of conversations, which are fun. So we kind of want to bring it and put the mics on for that.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's two creatives on a Zoom call, getting nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what this is. That's what this is.
We kind of talked about like what are our goals with this. Ultimately, It's for us to have something to connect with, like our own baby, if you will, like our own something that's ours together as a couple.
And we want this to grow in its own special organic way. And I'm sure it's also going to be therapeutic for both of us at times. So,
is it going to get to the point where like we save stories from the week for like, gotta save this for the podcast? Like, I don't like that.
You see, no, so I did I got to plug another project, of course. So I was afraid of that when I started. I had a project called the Come Play Podcast, which was a sports and video games podcast. A lot of sports, obviously, and it was with three of my friends. And we talk sports all the time, and we have a whole Discord dedicated to it. But even though there were some things where, like, if a big event happened, okay, we probably wouldn't talk about it in too much detail and we'd save it. But no, a lot of time we'd still talk about it behind the scenes just as we would on camera. Like we because either new thoughts come into play or the thoughts that we had originally were so good, let's put them on the mic. Like it didn't really matter. Like I didn't find that happens very often, at least for me. I mean, I know some people have that, like, but I think for the most part, there's stuff on this podcast that I don't get to talk about anywhere else very often. Like all the artists and video stuff that happens, there's only a select few people that I talk about this stuff with that understand on a deeper level than just, oh, that sounds cool what you do. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes talking to family or friends who are not in the industry, like, it kind of
they're supportive, but they don't get it.
Yeah, so I have a very supportive family, and they will listen to me rant and rave about anything. They really will. But I can rant to Fana here, and she'll understand and be able to relate to it a lot better than my parents can, just because she's an artist. So I think that even if me and Fana here do talk about some stuff off air, it'll still end up coming back to here anyway, just because this is what we talk about. This is what we do. Whenever we see each other, whenever we hang out, we literally just, okay, what drama did you get on Instagram today? Or what drama is happening on Twitch or YouTube? Or what's in, we talk, like I said, we love movies. We watch movies every week. And we just watched Snowpiercer, which was an interesting one. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. But so and we find YouTube videos all the time, YouTube series, animes. Like there's so much that we, digest together as well as separately that I don't think anything's going to get stale for the show. I really don't think so.
Yeah. Well, and I think a good way of putting it is this will not be, it is not and will not be our relationship. It is the product of our relationship.
There is so much more that you people will never know about how this relationship works. And you know what? I just realized that probably sounds very terrible coming from me and evil, but I please help me and save me and tell me that I'm actually an okay boyfriend.
You're an okay boyfriend.
Thank you. Don't blink twice. They're going to take that as Morse code.
help like we should capitalize some letters in the title.
Yeah, in the edit.
But
boyfriend divorces girlfriend to do podcasts.
yeah there'll be a breakup episode, don't worry.
I'm gonna hold my tongue. That's got to be a topic for something else. I hate those videos.
Yeah, especially when they're like, if you're gonna do it, don't monetize it. But we are not doing that right now.
There was only one that I respected. Only one, but it was like the one that I think set the trend for them. But again, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. We're good. I'm good.
We can't do controversy in episode 0. We can't do this.
I'm good.
We're moving on.
We're good.
So why is it called the Gremlins Lair? And I guess that's all me.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of all me.
It literally is this whole thing is your fault.
It's not all my fault. Okay, so story time. Name that Vine.
Shut up. No, rip Vine. TikTok sucks. Vine's better. Go ahead.
So, it all started with my college roommate Caroline, and
Missy Caroline. I love her.
I love her too. But it all started with, we were very much the people where like we liked to go out and run errands and do stuff, but then we also liked curling up in a blanket in the dark and like watching a TV show or something. And somehow that turned into we would say to one another, I need to go gremlin now. Like, as a verb.
Yes.
And we'd be like, she would knock on my door and walk into my room. And this is why I feel like the lair has like glowy lights. Because I literally would have my lights off, but I had these twinkle lights around the rim of my ceiling. And I would turn those on.
The really nice purple ones.
Yeah, like glowy blue, purple,
we
white
lived
light.
in very white wall dorms. I mean, I'm sure any other college student can relate. But
yeah, so, and she would knock on the door, and I'd literally be in the blanket, wrapped around. The laptop would be like, not even in my lap, it'd be like on my chest, like halfway shut, like, and I'd just like look up at her over it, and she's like, oh, are we gremlining right now? Again, a verb.
Yes.
I'm like, yes. So it kind
of. By
of.
the way, she's an English major, so having to say it's a verb is the English major.
It is a verb. I can diagram it in a sentence.
You got it.
But it kind of spread throughout the friend group. Like, I feel like our friend group knew what gremlining was.
I mean, we had a group of 6 or 7, or no, math 7 at this point, I think. We had a group of 7 that we'd hang out with pretty regularly in college, so me and my 3 roommates, and then Fana here and 2 of her roommates. Really, only one really wasn't in the group, but yeah, her and 2 of her roommates. And there were so many stupid quirks and inside jokes that we had. We literally had a wall of Post-it notes with all of them at one point. But yeah, this turned out to be one of those words that we would use like in conversation, and no one would bat an eye at it, like at all.
Yeah, and I think
like people just understood.
It ultimately was Caroline and I, though. It was,
yeah, it definitely stuck with you the most, and you ended up using that creatively on your channel.
It was in my soul, because then it turned into hashtag Gremlin Life. And she and I used to text that, or we would even say hashtag Gremlin Life. And then somehow editor Fana, who is kind of she's an odd thing, because like I'm editing the videos, but then it also switches to like this third person, like editor Fana's being mean to me. And like it would turn into hashtag Gremlin Life because editor Fana is a gremlin.
Yes.
And then I tried to incorporate that more and more and more into my channel, because I thought it was funny. I got Caroline's blessing, to be like Gremlin Life.
Yeah.
And when you and I wanted to do this podcast, or just a podcast,
yeah,
I very casually threw out like, haha, what if we call it like the Gremlin Lair? Like, I don't think we had any other titles.
Well, I mean, if I recall correctly, it took us a bit to really know what we wanted to do, because I mean, we both listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yes. That can be a whole episode right there. Just our podcast.
I mean, I'll briefly, I listen, but just to give, I guess, kind of a range of what I listen to. I've done more formal shows, at least creatively, but I also listen to like news podcasts. So like there's a local radio station that uploads their morning show as a podcast called the Preston and Steve Show on 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. But then I also listen to the most informal things ever, like the Rooster Teeth podcast, Off Topic. So I have a pretty decent range of them. And then I know Fana here is a big fan of the Avengers Zone, and my brother and me, those are her tops. So the McElroy, right? Is that how you say them? It's McElroy.
Yeah, we were going to a live show, and then quarantine hit. It was
we still have
it was the first time they were coming. Yeah, we still have the tickets.
We still have the tickets, so we'll be fine. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I'm still so upset.
We'll be fine. We're gonna go. It's gonna be later.
But yeah, I like more of that kind of stuff. I like more of the creative story based. Like I like Lore, which is a dark history podcast.
Yeah.
I like Simply Nellogical's podcast, which is like Simply Podlogical. I like the format that she and her boyfriend Ben do quite a bit.
I think the best creative podcast I listened to that you showed me was Welcome to Night Vale.
Yes, that's one I haven't
touched it in a while either, but I for a whole day listened to nothing but those episodes for a while once you kind of showed me what it was, because it's just so strange, but it's so good.
No, it's fantastic, and I love seeing the fan art for it. But
yeah.
Again, we can talk about like why we gravitate towards that stuff.
I'm sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent. What I was saying was, if I recall correctly, when we
had a point.
Somewhere we had we wanted to do a podcast at some point, and it for a while was just kind of like a haha, would it be funny if we did a podcast type thing? Like it was just something that we would mention and just never do. That happened for months. And then because then like there was like, you know, I would push for it at one point, and there would be like, okay, if we were to actually do them, what would it be? And it's like, well, it'd be something creative. And then we I think we tossed around like a few ideas of like more formal topics, but then we were just kind of like, why not we just go hot mic and just talk about our different spaces. And then I think after we kind of were like, okay. And then I think you were editing a video where you made a gremlin joke in it. And I think it's like, you know, I was thinking about the podcast. What if we called it like the Gremlins Lair? And I'm like, wait, that's actually really good. Like that actually works a lot. Yes, you are. You are a genius. That's why I date you. But like, I'm like, well, that's perfect. Like that works. I mean, I'm just as much a gremlin as our little child that we have here that you're seeing on screen currently, who we will talk about in a second. Because I'm an editor. I sit here. I don't go anywhere else. Like even before quarantine, I'm not out much. I'm a white Irish boy that doesn't tan and burns whenever sunlight touches him for more than 5 minutes. So
yeah, and it's just like going back to like the conception of the podcast. Like I even put out early on, like months ago, on my Instagram, I was like, we are thinking about doing a podcast. What are some topics? And because my current internet following is primarily following like my baby amount of followers, like
don't sell yourself short. Put him in a
it's a baby cult.
Hey, put him in a room and say that number is small.
Okay, I love you all. But
that was so fake.
I stop. What happened was, because my audience was built off of being a doll artist, the answers were primarily make it about making dolls. And because Bobby is not part of that community, and because I have my toes in so many other creative things, like I think that's definitely something that we could talk about, like various things that we do, or how like I got into that, because like, but that's not my identity as an artist.
I think you're a librarian,
or as a person.
You're a librarian, but I mean, you know, it's I do have a terrible habit of asking what somebody is, and it goes to their occupation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you can tell a decent bit about a person by what they do for a living, but it's not the only thing. We dip our toes in a lot of different material. Like I'm a sports fanatic, but I'm also like a huge nerd. I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I do so much video and computer stuff. Fana here has done so many different types of art and you know, illustration to crafting like dolls and crocheting, for God's sake. That's pretty different. Like usually people get, you know, known for one particular thing, and yeah, most of your art is doll making, but you have made videos of you doing other stuff and have at least showed it off in some way. So I think the label for us is creatives.
Right, and creative sounds kind of hoity-toity in a way, but I think it also
sounds like holier than thou a little bit in a way too.
Creatives,
way. Like, oh, we're creatives.
Yeah. But then ultimately, like, when you do the whole dumb game of like name one word to like describe yourself, like creative, I think fits into that, because I'm also a writer too.
Yeah.
So like creative is,
she's a published author, might I add.
We're not getting into this.
We don't have to. I'm just saying. I have to sing your praises. Okay, I have to. No, that's not even my favorite story that you've written. So,
but should we talk about the graphic that I made? My graphic? Well, I actually digitally arted for the first time in forever to make this.
They're looking at them right now. They've been on screen this whole time. So We should probably introduce them because they're kind of a big part of the show now, and I'm sure will continue to be, and is the whole reason is again a big reason on doubling down on the whole Gremlins Lair name.
Yeah.
So yes, please introduce our lovely child
this
here.
is the Gremlin, and we talked a lot about would they have a name.
Mm-hmm.
And very off the cuff when I was designing this character and like this logo, avatar, whatever we want to call it, graphic, randomly my dad goes, "Oh, Grumble the Gremlin."
Mm.
And I think I immediately called Bobby and it was like,
"You did." I didn't answer, by the way.
No, you did. I left you a voice. I was like, I literally have a child, or I have a name for our child. Call me back.
Call me back. Yeah, I think I deleted the voicemail. Also, my voicemail's kind of messed up right now. Shout out to AT&T for being terrible. But yeah, you called. I called you back a little later, not too much later.
Oh, like almost immediately.
Yeah, I was like just away from my phone for a minute. So,
but I was like, what if we call them Grumble?
Yes.
Because we were like, do we want like we were like, when we first were talking, I was like designing and sketching and stuff.
Yeah.
We were talking about like it needs a really, really fancy, like, I think Zuzu. Zuzu was the name in my head. Yeah. I was like, we need to call him Zuzu or like Richard.
Yeah, well that was the thing. I was like, well, we can either go two ways with this. We can either pick like the most over the top, crazy, weird name like Zuzu or even Grumble, what I would even consider in that category. Or we could just go like Richard or Steve.
Like it needed to be such either a really formal name or like a very common name, like Mike the Gremlin. But we also wanted it to be a little bit more gender neutral too.
Yeah.
Because, and this is a little bit more hypothetical, like whatever we want to call it, like, because I feel like Grumble the Gremlin they are kind of like our mascot, our pet, if you will, our baby. Like Grumble is ours.
Yeah.
But then also I think it kind of symbolizes like the gremlin aspect in all of us.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of like that
we're all gremlins. That's why we're here.
Right. Like that's the whole point of welcome to the layer.
Mm-hmm.
Like embracing that kind of. Grumble's very into self-care.
Grumble is very
Is it a head canon if I
created
created him? Isn't it just canon?
It's our character. Like why wouldn't they be whatever it is that you literally say?
But yeah, so I designed, illustrated, like made Grumble. We can go through that process of designing them at a later date. Like
it was all her though. Like I mean, I just approved cuts barely. I literally all I did was approve color changes.
And like I say some line. Like no, you helped with like
I looked at it on Discord whenever you sent it.
You talked about the headphones. You talked about you wanted them to have a mic, but the most important part. Yeah, the most important part of this was that the gremlin had to be wrapped in a blanket.
Yeah.
Like, that was the most important part of their design.
And we acknowledge that it gives off very big Baby Yoda vibes, but this did come more organically from Fana's time in college where she would peer over a blanket with a hot cup of whatever it was she was drinking at that point.
Yeah. So. And, like, it's a green monster with big ears. Like, Baby Yoda doesn't get to claim that.
No. But before anybody in the comments says that we're ahead of you, we talked about this for a couple of minutes when we were originally coming up with the design.
Yeah.
So that's Grumble. And they're gonna basically just be with us through all of the shows. Yeah. That's Grumble. Say hi to be nice to them. They're very sensitive.
They're a baby.
Yeah, they're a child, very sensitive.
So, Bobby, where do you see this going? How often is the Gremlins Lair coming out to the world?
Well, of course you asked the guy doing all the work. All right. So, I mean, if it's not obvious, I'm editing and producing and filming and troubleshooting this show. That's why it sounds and looks so good.
Your side.
Because I'm just using a better camera. You didn't invest in a webcam yet, but you have one camera that you can't even hook into your computer because you use it for your doll videos. Interesting. Anyway, it's not even that good of a camera, but yeah, it's. I think we kind of decided that this is kind of gonna be like a whenever we feel like thing, but we're I think aiming at least to start going at least 2 a month at least. But I think we'll we might do more certain month maybe, because I think what we might end up doing is actually getting into this kind of honeymoon phase with this, where we'll just kind of want to turn the mics on and just go for it. Because the setup's not that difficult. Once we figured it out today, so it's really easy to do, and then this edit's not going to take forever. So yeah, we're aiming for at least 2 a month. It's going to kind of be like whenever we feel like. We'll announce it on our various social platforms that'll be in the description. When they'll be out, we'll definitely do it at least a couple days ahead of time. But yeah, that's currently where we're at. I guess I should also say we don't plan on having any guests quite yet. Am I okay saying that? Yeah, okay. Because I think that, not that we're completely closed-minded to the idea, but more so we want it to just kind of, I think the dialogue between us is entertaining enough where we don't need to be, look, if we both find somebody who wants to be on and we're both interested in them and want to have them on, sure. I'm never going to say never. But I think for a while it's going to be just the two of us unless something crazy happens where our dialogue is going to be the interesting thing, the entertainment, the thing that's really going to kind of feed the show, and as well as Grumble sitting on the screen literally the entire time. So, also not for nothing, getting a third person poses some more technical things that I got to figure out. So,
Well, I don't like the thought of guests, at least not for a long time, because of the whole because this is our creative project. Yeah. I think a guest kind of cuts into that dynamic a little bit.
No, and this is kind of a place for us to vent about our own projects. Look, we're always doing stuff, right? And this isn't our full-time gig, not even close. And even what we do as creatives is not even really our full-time gig. There's creativity in what Fana here does as a librarian. I'm currently trying to find work in my field, but that's proving difficult. But, even whatever pays me might not be the thing that I'm actually really focusing and investing on as just a creative person. I'm always going to have my own projects. And I think Fana feels the same way about herself. So this is going to be the place where we can kind of share that all with you and, hopefully too, not for nothing, sell you on it enough to go check it out wherever it may be. We've done a lot of work over the years, and we don't think we're ever going to stop anytime soon, so we might as well just continue to share it with the world, and this is just another avenue to do so. But this won't be a plug fest. This is just going to be us venting about really whatever it is we're thinking of. Sure, we'll plug some new stuff that we do, but honestly, I'm going to, again, rant about something that happened in my industry or at a job that I'm on, as long as I'm not NDA'd, and I'm sure Fana is going to have her own gripes that she's going to come up with from her community that happens. But that's really what the point of this is. So, like I said, back to where we were originally, is not any guests, not saying never to it at any point in time, but I think we really want to focus on ourselves and what we're doing, and, connecting with our audience and doing things for our audience and continuing to innovate the show into, for the foreseeable future. We don't know how long we're going to do this. We might get tired of it tomorrow. I doubt it, but I think we'll be fine. And then I guess, the other technical thing I guess to take on is that, it's going to go on YouTube, on its own channel. We're not no plans for any live thing yet. Yeah, no. If ever.
I think a charity stream, if we ever got to that point,
maybe, would be but fun.
Then episode 0 is this introductory episode is going to be going on my channel, Fanastyfinder, just so that it has the broadest reach starting out. Yeah. And then it will be also on the Gremlins Layer's own social media and YouTube. Because I was very much pushing for a visual format as well as the normal auditory format, because I enjoy watching visual versions of podcasts when I'm sitting and doing work.
Yep.
And then normal podcasts are for my commute.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what I do with Twitch streams. Like I have a second computer here that I use when I'm streaming, and when I'm not using it for streaming, I'm usually have a stream on of some kind of somebody. It doesn't really matter. And it can really vary. Or video podcasts. Like I said, I mentioned the Rooster Teeth podcast. All of theirs are also video and audio distributed, which brings me to a good point about audio distribution. I'm working on it.
We will link everything below.
I'll link it in the description. We might not have audio distribution for this episode and maybe the next couple. I'm trying to figure it out. The boring detail of it is I have used a distribution service called Anchor in the past. And we might still use them, but there's some caveats to it that I got to look into and to make sure that it's right and make sure that we never have any, what I'll say is, I guess, legal issues at any point in time in case this continues to grow and innovate and something that we continue to do for the foreseeable future. But rest assured that whatever it is that I decide to go with, or we decide to go with, like I just to say, sorry, whatever we decide to go with, it's going to be on any podcast platform that you listen to, the big ones, Apple, Spotify, Google, I think Stitcher is one of them. I will get them there, in some way, in some form, in the very near future. I'm starting the research. I just haven't come to any type of conclusion yet. So just keep on the lookout for that. We'll announce on an episode, like if we get it all approved and set up before an episode, we'll announce it. And then all the episodes in past will be there, and then that's where it'll be for the foreseeable future. The video version will only premiere on YouTube. It makes no sense to really go anywhere else. So we'll just be on YouTube unless since Spotify's starting to get podcasts, video and audio exclusivity deals, if they want to pay us like Joe Rogan money to do that,
okay.
We'll do that. But
get right on that.
But no, it's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on the Gremlins Layer YouTube channel. If anything changes in that, we'll always let you know. But for right now, YouTube only for right now. Audio's coming. Just give us a little bit of time because it's a bit of a process. So that's where we're at.
And like any kind of thing to grow, just think about sharing this.
Yep.
Think about all the other gremlins in your life, or like ultimately we're doing this for us, but we would love to reach out to other people because I think our opinions mean something, or our thoughts, but
I have very stupid opinions sometimes though.
Yeah. He does.
And you'll hear them. Fana has no problem correcting me for something stupid that I say. And will very much
the fact that he thinks mint and chocolate is a flavor combination that should not exist, and it's one of my favorite ones.
I'm telling you.
That, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
This is what the podcast is gonna be right here. Is I'm just never gonna get a word in edgewise.
That's not true. That's not true.
Mint chocolate does not belong together. You people are lying to yourselves if you think that is actually a good flavor.
Is this the hot take?
Yeah, this is the hot. I don't have the button, but this is a hot take.
I strongly disagree.
You can't. You're lying. You're lying through your teeth. It's a government conspiracy.
There's literally mint Oreos upstairs.
Why?
Dad brought them home.
Just eat regular. I can't even eat Oreos anymore. But I just go eat them. They're better.
Oh, is that a podcast talking about our various medical issues?
I will mention my celiac disease quite a bit. I'm sorry if that ever gets frustrating for you people. But it's like if a new fast food thing comes out, I'm not going to be able to tell you about it because I probably can't eat it most of the time. So unless it's Chick-fil-A related at this point, then I got nothing for you. So if you're looking for food reviews, what you'll probably hear me say over the, if we talk about like what makes a good burger, I'm like, well, it's definitely not a gluten-free bun. Yeah, I'm like, well, I miss the seasoned buns, and I'm like, back when I used to eat good burgers, I would have this type of bun or this type of dressing or something like that, or sauce or whatever. But so you'll hear me say it like that a lot. So I'm sorry that I'm already giving you people too much TMI, but it will happen.
It's a tangent. Sorry. This is what we call a tangent.
Well, this is why there was no point in going formal with this, like at all, when we were deciding about this. I think we figured out pretty quickly that we wanted to talk about too much, and we're just gonna be like, you know what? Just do everything. just do everything, and just say forget it. So yep.
Should I do the Fantasy Finder outro?
Go ahead. I mean, I don't have a better one.
Should I do the whole, like, every time I, like, have to do it, I blank on it, even though I've been doing it for years.
So just stare at your wall until it hits you again, and then just do it.
He mocks me every time.
Because it's so funny.
Because, oh, God. All right, here we go. It's different, like, people seeing me do it.
Just do it.
I do hand jives with it.
You do hand jives with everything. Have you not seen yourself this entire show?
Yeah. Okay.
You're Italian.
I can't. Okay.
Go. Take a breath.
What is it? In High School.
Oh, yeah.
If you like, or what is it?
Holy crap. And now you're messing up the outro.
I literally recorded this yesterday.
Come on.
Okay.
You've been doing it for how many years?
If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you have a phenomenal day and keep being extraordinary. Bye!
It's cute, but it's not going to stick.